It was 6:47 p.m. when Luke noticed her typing again. He had been scrolling through his phone, pretending not to care, but his heart was already tense. Emma, the woman he loved, had been distant for weeks, and something about her smile tonight seemed different, lighter, almost secretive. Luke had always trusted her. He believed in their quiet Saturday mornings, their shared coffees, their late-night talks that lasted until 3 a.m. But lately, texts had become her escape, a world he wasn't invited to. He glanced at her phone across the table. Just for a second. Nothing personal, he told himself, but then he saw the name pop up. Alex. Just a friend, she said the moment he noticed. Her voice was casual, effortless. You know him from work. Luke nodded. He wanted to believe her. He really did. But something in the way she kept glancing at her phone made him uneasy. The night carried on, filled with the usual warmth of their living room. Luke tried to focus on the movie they were watching, tried to lose himself in the comfort of popcorn and familiar laughter. But his thoughts kept returning to Alex. Why did she smile so differently when she read his messages? Days passed. The pattern repeated. A text would arrive. Emma would retreat into her phone, her fingers dancing across the screen. And Luke? He stayed silent, pretending to read his book, pretending to understand. Then came Friday night. Luke had stayed late at work, leaving Emma alone for the evening. He didn't mind. He liked that she had space, that she had friends. But something about the way she was laughing at her phone felt off. He waited until she left the room to make a call. A soft chime rang in his hand. Her phone buzzed too, but she didn't notice. He glimpsed the screen, and that's when it happened. A message. Not just any message, something that didn't feel like just a friend. It was playful, intimate in a way that sent a shiver down his spine. He didn't read it fully, didn't want to invade her privacy. But the tone was enough. Luke felt a mix of anger and hurt. He told himself it was paranoia. He told himself Emma loved him. But the seed of doubt was planted. That night, he lay awake, staring at the ceiling. He couldn't sleep. Every memory of laughter, every whispered "I love you," suddenly felt fragile. Monday arrived. Luke couldn't shake the feeling that something had shifted. He tried to engage Emma in conversation, asking about her day, her week. But she seemed distracted, her eyes flickering to her phone more often than before. Finally, he asked. Not aggressively, just softly, with a voice that carried the weight of sleepless nights. Emma, is there something you're not telling me? Her smile faltered for a moment. Then, almost too quickly, she laughed. Luke, you worry too much. It's just Alex. Luke wanted to believe her. And for a while, he did. He believed that everything was fine, but deep down, he knew he couldn't ignore the feeling gnawing at him. The feeling that something small had changed, that trust had been tested in a way he didn't yet understand. It wasn't just the message, not really. It was the way she looked when she read it. The way her laughter had changed. The way her presence, once so familiar, now carried a hint of secrecy. And then, as if on cue, his phone vibrated. A notification, another message. Luke stared at it. His heart sank. This was the kind of message that could change everything, if he let it, and he realized just then that he had no idea what he was about to discover. If you're enjoying this story so far, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more touching tales. That night, Luke faced a truth he couldn't yet name. Some things, once revealed, could never be unseen. He didn't know it yet, but one message was about to change everything forever. Luke would soon confront Emma, but the message in her phone held more than just words. It held a secret that would challenge everything he thought he knew about love, trust, and betrayal. The next morning, Luke couldn't focus. Even the sun streaming through the blinds couldn't chase the unease from his mind. He kept replaying the message over and over, twisting its meaning, imagining what it could imply. Emma was in the kitchen, humming softly while making breakfast. The smell of coffee usually comforted him, but today it only sharpened the tension in his chest. He tried to act normal, asked her about her plans for the day, but every casual response felt like a mask hiding something deeper. Finally, he decided he had to confront it. Not aggressively, not angrily, just honestly. He needed to understand. "Emma," he said, keeping his voice low, "can we talk about Alex?" She turned, her smile steady, but her eyes flickering just a little. "Luke, really, it's nothing." He shook his head. "I know you say that, but something feels off. I can't explain it." She sighed and leaned against the counter, brushing a loose strand of hair behind her ear. "It's complicated," she admitted. "Alex, he's not just a friend, but it's not what you think." Luke's heart stopped. Not what he thought? His mind raced with possibilities. Betrayal, lies, heartbreak. Emma saw the panic in his eyes and stepped closer. "I didn't want you to find out like this. I wanted to tell you, but I wasn't ready." "Tell me what?" Luke asked, voice shaking slightly. "Emma, please, I can handle it, but I need the truth." She paused, taking a deep breath. "Alex, he's my brother." Luke blinked. Shock and relief collided inside him. His mind had spun into a dark spiral for days, imagining scenarios that weren't real. "Your brother?" Emma nodded. "He's been going through a rough time. I've been helping him. A lot. I didn't want you to worry or think I was, I don't know, cheating or hiding things from you." Luke felt a rush of guilt and frustration. Guilt for doubting her. Frustration for letting his imagination run wild. But it wasn't just relief. Something inside him still felt uneasy. "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" he asked, softer now. "Why all the secrecy?" Emma looked down, twisting her coffee mug in her hands. "I wanted to protect you from stress. Alex needed me. And I thought, if I explained, you might see it as something more. I didn't want to ruin us." Luke exhaled, feeling the tension in his shoulders slowly release. But even with the truth, something lingered. He loved her. He trusted her. But trust, once shaken, leaves a shadow behind. The rest of the day passed in quiet reflection. Luke wanted to brush it off, pretend the anxiety never happened, but every glance at Emma reminded him of the fragile thread connecting them. Later, as they sat on the couch, she leaned on his shoulder. "I promise, Luke, it's only him. Nothing else. I'll never let anything come between us." He nodded, but inside, his mind was still spinning. Secrets, even small ones, had power. They could build walls between people, even those who loved each other most. That night, Luke checked his phone again. No messages from Alex, nothing that seemed threatening. But he realized something important. Trust wasn't just about truth. It was about timing, about honesty, about sharing burdens before they festered. He glanced at Emma, sleeping peacefully, and felt both warmth and worry. He loved her fiercely, but he also knew that one message, one small flicker of doubt, had almost destroyed what they had. And yet, in the quiet of the night, another message arrived. Luke froze before opening it. This time it wasn't from Emma, it was from Alex. The words were simple, short, but they carried weight. "Luke, we need to talk. It's about Emma." Luke's stomach sank. The relief he had felt earlier evaporated instantly. Whatever Emma had tried to hide, whatever she had thought was harmless, Alex implied it was far from innocent. He stared at the screen for what felt like hours. Questions ran through his mind faster than he could answer them. Was Emma lying? Was Alex protecting her or warning him? And if there was something he didn't know, Would he ever be able to trust Emma again? The line between truth and deception had blurred, and Luke realized that this was only the beginning. One message had revealed a secret, but the next one threatened to unravel everything Luke believed about love, trust, and the woman he thought he knew. Luke stared at his phone for what felt like an eternity. The message from Alex blinked on the screen. "Luke, we need to talk. It's about Emma." He didn't want to call right away. Part of him wanted to believe it was nothing, just some family drama he didn't need to be involved in. But another part, an uneasy, nagging part, told him this was serious. He dialed the number, heart pounding. The line rang 3 times before Alex picked up. "Luke," Alex said, voice low but firm. "Thanks for calling. Listen, I don't know how to say this. It's about Emma. There are things you don't know. Things she's hiding." Luke felt a cold twist in his stomach. "Hiding? What do you mean?" There was a pause. Then Alex sighed. "I didn't want to get involved, but I can't stay silent. Emma, she's been seeing someone else. I don't know if it's romantic or just emotional, but she's keeping it from you." Luke's hands went cold. His mind raced. He wanted to yell, to demand answers, but instead he forced himself to stay calm. "Are you sure?" "Yes," Alex said. "I saw messages, conversations. You deserve to know she might be in over her head, and I don't want you to get hurt." Luke's chest tightened. Part of him wanted to hang up, tell Alex he was overreacting. But deep down, he knew he had to confront the truth. He couldn't pretend anymore. "I need to see the messages," Luke said quietly. "Everything. I need to know what's going on," Alex hesitated. "I can't just send them. She'll know I told you." "You'll have to be careful, Luke. Talk to her. Ask her directly, but be ready. The truth might not be what you want to hear." The words hit Luke like a punch. He felt torn between anger and despair. Emma, the woman he had loved, trusted, built a life with, might have been lying to him all along. He ended the call and sat in silence. His mind was a whirlwind of scenarios, each more painful than the last. He replayed every conversation, every smile, every laugh. Had it all been an act? Later that evening, he confronted Emma. She was sitting at the kitchen table, flipping through a magazine trying to seem casual. "Emma," Luke began, his voice trembling slightly. "We need to talk. About us. About Alex, about everything." She looked up, surprised. "Luke, what's wrong?" "Don't play dumb," he said. "I got a message from Alex. He says you're hiding something from me. Something serious." Her eyes widened. She put the magazine down and leaned forward. "Luke, I can explain. I promise it's not what it seems." He shook his head. "Then tell me. Because I can't sit here and pretend everything is fine. I trusted you, Emma, I still do. But if there's even a small lie, it will destroy us." Emma took a deep breath. "It's complicated, Alex. He's overprotective. He saw some messages I sent, and he misunderstood. There's nothing romantic, I swear. You have to believe me." Luke wanted to believe her. He really did. But his mind kept returning to Alex's warning. The doubt was too strong, the fear too real. "I want to believe you," Luke said softly. But Alex's message, it shook me. "I need the truth, Emma. No more secrets. No more hiding." She reached across the table, taking his hand. "Luke, I've made mistakes. I shouldn't have hidden some things. But I love you, only you. You have to trust me." Luke squeezed her hand, torn between hope and fear. Love and doubt were fighting inside him, each pulling him in a different direction. That night, he couldn't sleep. Every time he closed his eyes, he imagined Emma with someone else. Even if it wasn't true, the images haunted him. And then, just as he drifted into a restless sleep, his phone buzzed again. Another message from Alex. Luke hesitated before opening it. His hands shook slightly. The message was short, but the words froze him. "Meet me tomorrow. You need to see this for yourself." "Bring Emma," Luke's mind raced. Was it a trap? Was Alex trying to warn him or control him? He had no choice but to go. Whatever truth awaited, he knew one thing. Their relationship was about to face its biggest test yet. Tomorrow, Luke and Emma would confront the secret together. but the revelation might change everything, possibly for good. The next morning, Luke felt a knot in his stomach that wouldn't loosen. Emma was quiet too as they drove to meet Alex. The silence between them was heavy, filled with unspoken fears. "I don't know what he wants to show us," Luke admitted softly, gripping the steering wheel. "But whatever it is, we need to face it together." Emma reached over and squeezed his hand. "I know, I'm scared too, but hiding it won't help. I want the truth out in the open, for both our sakes." They pulled up to Alex's apartment. Luke noticed the nervous tension in his brother-in-law's posture as he opened the door. Alex motioned for them to sit. "I'm glad you came," Alex said. "I didn't want to involve you like this, Luke, but you needed to see the truth for yourself." Luke swallowed hard. "Then show me, please." Alex pulled out his laptop and opened a folder filled with screenshots. Luke's heart raced and he braced himself. Emma's face turned pale, but she didn't try to stop him. She had promised honesty, and now it was time. The first messages were confusing. Harmless on the surface, friendly, supportive words between Emma and someone named David. But as Luke scrolled down, patterns emerged. Late-night chats, secret plans, emotional conversations. It wasn't romantic, but it was intimate in a way that went beyond simple friendship. Emma noticed Luke's tension and spoke softly. "Luke, I didn't tell you because I was afraid you'd think I loved him, or worse, that I was cheating. But David, he's a colleague. He's been going through a divorce, struggling with depression. I've been helping him. That's it. I promise." Luke looked up at her, searching her eyes. The honesty there was real. He could see it. But the hurt and fear in him still lingered. "Why keep it secret then? Why let Alex intervene?" Emma's voice wavered. "Because I thought I was protecting you. I thought if I explained everything, you'd see it as a betrayal, even though it wasn't. I wanted to help someone without hurting the person I love most," Alex interjected, clearly uncomfortable. "I didn't mean to complicate things. I just saw the messages and jumped to conclusions. I wanted to protect Luke." Luke exhaled slowly, relief mixed with frustration. He loved Emma, trusted her, but the secret had made him feel powerless, vulnerable. "I see now," he said finally. "You didn't cheat. You cared for someone else, but it wasn't at my expense. I get that." Emma reached across the table, taking his hand. "Luke, I never wanted you to feel this way. I love you, only you, and I will never keep secrets like this again. You have my word." He nodded, feeling the tension in his chest slowly ease. But one thought lingered. Trust, once shaken, takes time to rebuild. And he wasn't sure if he could fully let go of the fear. Not yet. They left Alex's apartment in silence, each lost in thought. The drive home felt longer than usual. Luke watched Emma's profile, her eyes reflecting the sunlight streaming through the window. He wanted to forgive, to move forward, but a small part of him feared that the shadow of doubt would never completely vanish. At home, they sat together on the couch. Luke pulled her close. "I don't want secrets between us ever again," he said softly. "Neither do I," Emma whispered. "I'll be honest, no matter what. Always." They held each other in the quiet, letting the tension melt away. But outside, life continued, unpredictable as ever. And Luke knew that love, even when proven true, carries scars. Lessons learned in the harsh light of doubt and fear. That night, Luke's phone buzzed once more. Another message. From David this time. It was polite, simple, and surprisingly humble. "Thank you for understanding, Luke. Emma's loyalty is clear. I'm sorry for any confusion." Luke read it and felt a weight lift from his shoulders. The storm had passed, but he knew one thing. Love was fragile, and honesty was the bridge that kept it alive. Yet, as he looked at Emma sleeping beside him, he couldn't shake the feeling that life still held lessons they hadn't learned. Trust could be tested again. Secrets could surface in unexpected ways. But for now, they had faced the storm together and survived. Just when Luke thought the crisis was over, a subtle sign hinted that someone else, someone he hadn't expected, was quietly observing them, waiting for the right moment to stir the next wave of tension. The next morning dawned calm but fragile. Luke woke up before Emma, watching her sleep for a moment longer than usual. The night had been quiet, yet his mind was restless. Even after everything, the fear of hidden secrets still lingered, faint but persistent. Emma stirred and smiled softly when she noticed him watching. "Morning," she whispered. "You look tired." "I am," Luke admitted, sitting on the edge of the bed. "But I feel lighter too, after yesterday seeing everything. It's like a weight's been lifted." Emma nodded, brushing a strand of hair from his forehead. "I know, I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner. I thought I was protecting you, but I see now that honesty is the only way to protect us." Trust can't survive in the dark. Luke took a deep breath, letting her words sink in. He realized she was right. Fear, doubt, and misunderstanding had nearly broken them. But truth had the power to heal. Later, over breakfast, they talked quietly. Luke asked questions, not in anger, but in curiosity, wanting to understand fully what had happened. Emma answered every question with patience and care. There were no lies, no hidden agendas, only clarity. By mid-morning, Luke felt a sense of peace he hadn't felt in weeks. It wasn't just relief. It was a renewed understanding of love. Trust, once tested, had been reaffirmed. It wasn't easy, and it wouldn't always be perfect, but it was real. That afternoon, Alex called to check in. "How are you two?" he asked. "Better," Luke replied honestly. "We needed to face it together." "And we did," Alex chuckled softly. "Good, I'm glad, and I'm sorry for adding tension." "I just wanted to help," Luke smiled. "You did. It made us confront things we might have ignored. In the end, it brought us closer." Even David reached out to apologize properly, confirming that his conversations with Emma were innocent in intention. Luke felt a mix of relief and empathy. Everyone had been human, flawed, fearful, protective, but in the end, truth had prevailed. That evening, Luke and Emma sat on their balcony, watching the sun dip behind the city skyline. Silence wasn't awkward anymore. It was comforting. Luke wrapped his arm around her, feeling the warmth of her presence, the safety of her trust. "I love you," he said quietly. "I love you too," Emma replied. "More than ever. And now, nothing, no doubt, no fear can come between us." Luke smiled, realizing that love wasn't about perfection. It was about facing uncertainty, confronting fears, and choosing each other over every shadow that tried to divide them. As the city lights twinkled below, he understood that life could be messy, filled with miscommunications, secrets, and tests of faith. But it was also full of growth, forgiveness, and second chances. And for the first time in weeks, Luke felt truly at peace. He knew challenges would come again. Life never stopped testing us. But he also knew that together, they could face anything. The past few weeks had taught him the power of honesty, the importance of confronting fears, and the strength that comes from vulnerability. And most of all, he realized that trust, once rebuilt, could shine brighter than ever. Luke squeezed Emma's hand, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. No message, no misunderstanding, no doubt could take away what they had now. A love stronger, wiser, and more resilient than before. As night fell, the city quiet around them, Luke whispered, "Whatever comes next, we face it together." Emma leaned her head on his shoulder, smiling softly. "Together," she echoed. And in that moment, both knew that their love had been tested, and it had endured. The storm had passed, and a new chapter began, filled with honesty, trust, and the quiet, unshakable joy of being truly understood.